Hi, long range hunting. Today I'm going to be talking about a rifle system that you can buy straight from the company, and you require no training and you are good to 1,000 yards right out the box. Hi everybody. Now I know what you're thinking. Jared, what kind of rifle can I buy that's ready to go and I don't need any training and I can just go out and start dropping deer at 1,000 yards or elk? Come here. There isn't. This is something that drives me nuts, because where it comes from is people who have no idea about long range hunting. It's used to prove somebody wrong. And what I mean by that is you'll have somebody that's trying to spin that long range is bad and it's so difficult, and it's just, you can't read wind, you can't do, and they bring up all this stupid stuff. You can't just buy a rifle and it's good to go. You have to do low development, and they start trying to do all this stuff. And then somebody points out a company like Best of the West, and they're like, hey, they do all your load development for you. So by the time you buy your rifle package, it's got its scope, you got your turrets, you got everything ready to go. The rifle is ready to go. And then me as the buyer, if let's say I bought one, well, I know what I'm doing. The rifle's already squared away. All I got to do is take it out to the range, practice with it, and take it in the field. And that gets used to prove those antis wrong, saying, hey, dude, you don't even have to do all that stuff. They'll do it for you if you pay them for it. That's part of the service. Or you can do something like this, where you buy the rifle, it's a custom rifle, you have it built, and then you do the load development and all that, and verification and truing your data and all that. So in response to them being proven wrong, they will try to spin that and take it out of context and say, oh, well, they're advocating that nobody should have training, that you don't have to. You can just go buy that rifle and start dropping deer to 1,000 yards, and it gives us a bad name, and they're lying to the customers, and they're telling them they don't need training, and this is just, it's a terrible thing. Plain and simple, that's just what it is. It's a lie. They are trying to spin that thing that proved them wrong and try to spin it back. And then they repeat it to other people. And the problem is the other people that really don't know anything about it, they hear something negative about long range and they're, oh, well, I don't support stuff that's unethical. I don't support no training. The problem is the entire thing that they're getting offended by and then don't like is based on a lie. Let's go to Best of the West themselves for their website. I'm bringing up Best of the West just because that's the most common one I get. The other one is Gunworks, but we're going to focus on Best of the West for this. So let's go to their website. This is from the Mountain Hunter package, and it includes Best of the West Mountain Hunter Rifle, properly broke in and seasoned barrel with proven accuracy to 1,000 yards. Now, what does that mean? That means that they've taken it, they've broken in your barrel, which, so anybody that doesn't know, this is what a lot of competition shooters do. When they first get their barrel, it's brand new. And after so many rounds, it's generally between 300 and 500 is what those guys are going for. It gets worn in, those lands and those rifling get worn in. And as it does that, you're going to get an increase in velocity. So if you get, let's say you're in a competition, you buy your custom rifle, you start running it, building load development, well, 300 to 500 rounds in, you're going to get a velocity increase. So you could be at a match and all of a sudden your complete data and your load is off because you've had an increase in velocity, which now makes the rest of that null and void. And so you have to go back and do all that again. So what these guys do is they will take burn rounds. Basically, they're going to take crappy, hunting bullets or something just cheap just to wear in the barrel. And they'll just run it. And then after that, that's when they'll do their load development and go do competition. Now let's look at this again. Best of the West Mountain Hunter Rifle. Properly broken and seasoned barrel with proven accuracy to 1,000 yards. Now what is the key word in that? Rifle. It doesn't say the trigger monkey. That's you. The trigger monkey's the guy that's doing this. It doesn't say the trigger monkey's good. It says the rifle is good. Now what they do as part of their package is they do everything. So they're going to build your rifle. They're going to put the rings on it, properly torque it. They're going to take the scope, put it on. They're going to do the load development. Then they're going to go out and true that data. They're going to verify that it's good. So they're going to go out, shoot at distances, and verify that that trajectory is matching up. If it's not, they adjust to match it perfectly, the velocity in BC, and then you have true data. They then take custom turrets and they will etch those with that specific data. Now, disclaimer, I am not a fan of this. I do not like BDC reticles, which is bullet drop compensating. I am not a fan. I refuse to own them, but lots of people do like them, and that is their choice. Now, once they have all this done, your turrets are done, all that, they are going to take it out to distance, depending on your cartridge and your setup, how far that's going to depend. And then they're going to verify it, which means they're going to, one, check that those turrets are tracking correctly for your bullet drop. And they're also going to see the effective range. What is your accuracy like at a certain distance? And so this mountain rifle is trued that they have also verified, a qualified person has verified at 1,000 yards that it is holding that certain amount of accuracy they want, and it's doing it repeatably. So when you get that weapon system, everything's already done. All you got to do is go practice with it at the range, and they're going to tell you your load development because they've already done it. They're going to tell you this bullet this far off the lands, trim to this, use this powder, this primer. They're going to tell you everything for it. And then you just match that with your reloading and you're good to go. Now let's dive into Best of the West Arizona. Now, they are the same, it's just a different branch. I actually know the owner and some of the people at Best of the West Arizona, really, really good people. But let's dive into this rifle. This is another rifle that is on their website, and package includes rifle, not trigger monkey, rifle, properly broken in, seasoned, and proven accurate to 1,400 yards. Now, this is a larger cartridge with a higher BC bullet, so it's going further. But that means that somebody has done all that work from there. That professional guy, that gunsmith, the people that tested all that, they're going to put together this custom rifle for you, your scope, all that. They're going to go through all that. And then they went and verified that it's good to 1,400 yards. But again, what is the word there that's so important? Rifle. Not trigger monkey, rifle. So is Best of the West or any of those people advocating that you, the trigger monkey, are good to go? No, they're saying the rifle is good to go. They've done all their stuff. Now, here's the thing. Do you have to have them do all that? No. You can just go buy a custom rifle like this and do your own load development and all that. That's what I choose to do because in reality, it's not hard. It is not hard to validate your information. It really comes down to knowledge. Do you know? It's kind of like changing an alternator. If you don't know what you're doing, it makes it difficult. If you know what you're doing, it's a very simple thing. It just takes a little time. Same thing with load development and truing. Once you know what you're doing with precision shooting, it's not that hard. I can go out and within a few shots true my data with this gun. It's not really hard. I was just in Oklahoma last year and I did that with my new 6 Creed setup. I think it took 4 or 5 bullets in order to true out to distance, and then I went and was shooting different distances, and it was just stacking them. So you can do something like this where you do it yourself and you save some money, or if you want, you can pay them. You can pay Best of the West or whatever company you decide to go with, and they'll do all that work for you. But nobody is advocating that you can go out without any training and just go out and start dropping stuff. Another great example is actually this rifle. This is a full custom rifle using top end everything. It's got a custom action. It's a Stiller, Trigger Tech Diamond, Macmillan stock, 20 MOA rail. I've got a Smith and Bender on here. I've got a Krieger 24-inch barrel, hand lapped, and this thing's an absolute tack driver. Now these rifles come with a half MOA guarantee. Well, what does that mean? That means that they guarantee anybody can achieve half-inch groups at 100 yards with match ammunition. Now, this shoots significantly less than this. In fact, I, at 100 yards, group it under a quarter minute. The reason that they don't advertise it as a sub-quarter or a quarter gun is because 90% of people cannot achieve that type of accuracy. The reason being, it's all about consistency. I mean, you have to be perfect in every shape and form. You have to have your perfect trigger control. You have to do everything the same. Consistency is accuracy. But anybody can achieve half MOA. These new guns, the technology, the ammunition, it is stupid scary how accurate you can be. It really is. So people say, oh, well, they're selling it that, you know, either this or that you can be so much better, the best you've ever shot, and you will improve. Well, yeah, there is some truth to that. If you're using hunting loads with a bad hunting bullet and you're holding 2-3 inch groups at 100 yards, and then you get on this with a great bullet and it's a custom rifle, your groups are going to be a lot smaller. So yes, you're going to be better. I mean, it's like if you put somebody in a Ferrari and a minivan, now both can hit 100 miles an hour, but the Ferrari is going to do it a lot easier and a lot faster. Now, does anybody advocate people getting any of those vehicles without knowing how to drive? No. Nobody's advocating that people get in a vehicle, for one, just to drive without knowing what they're doing, let alone going 100 miles an hour. But that's how stupid this is. That's what they're trying to say, that people are advertising it. It's just simply not true. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's just a flat out lie. Nobody's advocating it. And check this out. Now let's tackle the no training part. Well, guess what? If you go buy a rifle from Best of the West, Arizona, Gunworks, guess what they do? They teach classes. So, yeah, they'll literally teach you how to use your scope, your rifle. They're going to go over everything that has to do with long-range shooting, fundamentals of marksmanship, how to use your equipment, environmental conditions, how to read wind. They're going to teach you all of that in these classes. So if they were advertising that you can just go buy one of the rifles and be good to go with zero training, then why do they offer training? I mean, seriously, people, use some common sense here. I mean, it's amazing what people will believe, especially when there's no factual data to support it, and people just take it in as if it's factual without doing any further research. Go look at their website. You can find the same stuff that I found. You can go read about what rifle is good to what distance with that cartridge, what it shoots, etc. You can look at all this stuff. It's not top secret. Go to their website. Use your phone. You know, get on a keyboard. Everybody's pretty good at that these days. So, or is anybody advertising no training? No, not in any way, shape, or form. Everybody advocates training. That's just plain and simple. Now, I hope this has been educational for you guys. I hope it's helped you get a little better understanding. If somebody tries saying this when they're trying to put down long range, you can, throw up that BS flag. Or if you really don't know anything about long range but are kind of curious and you hear some good things, you hear some bad things, take the bad things with a grain of salt. You got to remember that a lot of what they're saying is arguing against physical proof. Like you see a hunting video and the animal's dead one shot. Just bam, lights out CNS, which is central nervous system. Well, that person is now having to argue against physical evidence proving them wrong. And so they're going to twist stuff, they're going to make up stuff. And so, whether you like it or not, and that's the thing, just because you don't like something doesn't mean you have to, kick dirt on them. Let's take Best of the West. I know some of those guys. Great guys. They make great rifles. I don't like their scopes. I don't like any BBC scope. Does that mean that I'm going to trash that company? No. It's up to each individual what they want to run. I'll tell you the limitations of a scope like that versus something like this, but ultimately it's up to you as the operator. What type of scope do you want? What works best for you? What do you want to utilize? So, do your research. If somebody tells you something that seems really bad about long range, do a little bit of research. Ask some questions. It's not hard. And ask people who actually know what they're talking about. It's really not difficult, people. Long range hunters aren't unethical. We're not advocating just buying equipment and just taking pop shots. We're not doing any of that. We hunt just like everybody else. We get good equipment. We train religiously through the off season. That way when it comes time, we can make that shot. We take shots within our limitations as marksmen and by that bullet, because that bullet is going to dictate the performance and what distance based on your minimum impact velocity. So we're just like anybody else. We're in the same woods, the same hunting. The only difference is our abilities and how far we can shoot. We can shoot them up close, in the medium, far. We can do all of it. So we're just the same as everybody else. We're just hunters. So everybody be safe out there. Happy hunting.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you won't miss out on any future video. And happy hunting!